Your bedroom should be your sanctuary. But if you're tossing and turning at night, waking up tired, or just never feeling truly relaxed in there, it's not your fault. Something is missing, and most people never notice it. I'm going to show you 7 psychological fixes that transform a bedroom from just a place you sleep into a space that actually calms your nervous system. And stick around for number 7, because that's the one that changes everything. Even though it's the hardest one to hear. A few years ago, I met an elderly woman who'd lived in the same home for 40 years. Her bedroom was simple. Not expensive, not trendy. But the second you walked in, you felt peace, like your shoulders dropped without trying. When I asked her a secret, she smiled and said, "I don't keep what doesn't belong." Most of us do the opposite. We fill our bedrooms with things we think we need. A TV for background noise. Piles of laundry we'll fold tomorrow. That treadmill we swore we'd use. Work documents on the nightstand. And then we wonder why we can't relax. Here's the truth. Your bedroom isn't just 4 walls and a bed. It's a psychological space. And right now, it's working against you. Let me show you what's missing. First, let's talk about visual noise. Your brain processes everything you see even when you're trying to wind down. If your bedroom is cluttered, visually chaotic, or full of unfinished tasks staring you in the face, your nervous system stays in an alert state. You can't relax because subconsciously your brain thinks there's still work to do. The fix? Create one completely clear surface. Just one. Your nightstand, your dresser, or even the top of a bookshelf. Keep it empty, except maybe for one calming object like a small plant or a candle. This gives your brain a visual rest zone. When your eyes land there, they don't have to process anything. And that tiny moment of visual peace signals your body that it's safe to relax. It sounds small, but people notice the difference within days. Now, this next one is subtle, but it completely changes how your bedroom feels. Most people keep their bedrooms too warm. We think warmth equals cozy, but psychologically, your body needs to cool down to signal sleep. If your room feels stuffy or overly warm, your brain stays slightly alert because heat triggers wakefulness. The magic number? Between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, that feels cold at first. But here's the psychology. When you climb into bed and pull up a soft blanket, your body experiences comfort as a contrast. Cold room, warm blanket. That contrast is what makes you feel truly cozy and safe. If you can't control your thermostat, crack a window. Use a fan. Layer your bedding so you can adjust. The goal isn't to freeze, it's to let your body find its own warmth under the covers. That's when you feel held, protected, at peace. And speaking of feeling protected, in a moment I'm going to tell you about the lighting mistake that's secretly stressing you out. But first, let's talk about something even more primal. This one goes back thousands of years. Humans feel safest when they can see the entrance to a space. It's hardwired into us. If your bed is positioned so that you can't see the door when you're lying down, your subconscious stays on guard. You're vulnerable, exposed, even if you don't consciously think about it. That lack of visual control keeps your stress response activated. The fix? Rearrange your bed so you can see the door, but you're not directly in line with it. Ideally, diagonally across from the door. This is called the command position in design psychology, and it works because it satisfies your primal need for safety without putting you in the direct path of movement or energy. People who make this one change often say they sleep deeper that very first night. Not because the room changed, because their nervous system finally feels safe. If you want a home that actually supports your well-being, hit subscribe. These psychology-based fixes work, and there's so much more coming. Here's the lighting mistake. Bright white light in the evening. We've gotten so used to overhead lights and blue-toned LEDs that we've forgotten how our bodies are supposed to wind down. Bright light, especially blue or white light, tells your brain it's daytime. It suppresses melatonin. It keeps you alert. And then we wonder why we're scrolling our phones at midnight wide awake. The fix? Switch to warm, dim lighting at least an hour before bed. Use lamps instead of overhead lights. Choose bulbs labeled soft white or warm white, ideally around 270 OK. If you want to go further, get a Himalayan salt lamp or a small amber nightlight. The warm glow mimics firelight, which humans have relaxed by for millennia. Your brain will start winding down naturally. No melatonin pills, no sleep sounds, just biology doing what it's designed to do. Now this next one. Most people get wrong without realizing it. Your sense of smell is directly linked to the emotional center of your brain. That's why certain scents can instantly transport you to a memory or change your mood in seconds. But most bedrooms smell like nothing, or worse, like laundry detergent mixed with dust and last night's dinner. The fix: choose one calming scent and use it only in your bedroom. Lavender is classic for a reason. It actually lowers cortisol. But you could also try chamomile, sandalwood, or eucalyptus. The key is consistency. Use the same scent every night. Over time, your brain will associate that smell with sleep and safety. You can use a diffuser, a linen spray, or even a small sachet under your pillow. It doesn't have to be expensive. What matters is the ritual: scent, dim light, cool air. You're building a sensory routine that tells your body this is where you rest. Comment cozy if you're going to try one of these tonight. I read every single one. All right, we've covered visual calm, temperature, safety, lighting, and scent. But there are two more fixes. And I'll be honest, the last one makes people uncomfortable, but it's the most powerful. Let me give you number 6 first. This is simple, but most people won't do it. Your phone does not belong in your bedroom, not on your nightstand, not charging by the bed, not just in case, nowhere. Here's why. Your phone represents the entire world. Every notification, every email, every news alert, every social media rabbit hole. As long as it's within reach, part of your brain is waiting for it, monitoring it, ready to respond. You are not fully present in your own space. The psychology is clear. People who remove their phones from the bedroom report better sleep, lower anxiety, and a stronger sense of control over their mornings. Because instead of reaching for a screen the second they wake up, they ease into the day. If you need an alarm, buy a $10 alarm clock. If you're worried about emergencies, leave your phone in another room with the ringer on. You'll still hear it, but you won't be tethered to it. This one fix reclaims your bedroom as yours. Not your boss's, not the internet's, yours. And now, the final fix. Here it is. If your bedroom doesn't feel relaxing, it might be because you're using it for everything except rest. Working in bed, eating in bed, scrolling for hours in bed, arguing in bed, worrying in bed. Your brain has learned that this space isn't for peace. It's for stress, distraction, and unfinished business. The fix? Retrain your brain, use your bed only for sleep. That's it. If you can't sleep, get up. Go to another room. Read, stretch, journal, whatever. But don't lie there staring at the ceiling, teaching your brain that bed equals frustration. This is called stimulus control therapy, and it works because it rebuilds the association between your bed and rest. It takes a couple weeks. It feels inconvenient. But people who commit to it say it's like getting their sanctuary back. Your bedroom should be the one place where the world stops asking things of you, where you don't have to perform, produce, or prove anything, where you can just be. That elderly woman I told you about, she didn't have a designer bedroom. She didn't have expensive furniture or trendy decor. But she understood something most of us forget. A bedroom isn't about what you put in it. It's about what you keep out: clutter, stress, light pollution, heat, distractions, chaos. When you remove what doesn't belong, what's left is space. Real space. The kind that lets you breathe deeper, sleep better, and wake up feeling like yourself again. You don't need a renovation. You don't need a bigger budget. You just need to protect this one space like it matters. Because it does. If this helped, subscribe. There's a whole series on home psychology coming, and you won't want to miss it. And if you need more calm in your life right now, watch the next video. It'll show you how to make your entire home feel like a retreat. Thanks for being here. Sleep well.